it's Alex Popham, Breckinridge County 4-H agent. Thanks for joining us for our third and final video teaching our 4-H members how to create their own entomology collection for the county fair, state fair, or other qualifying events. So we've already caught our insects, we've started collecting, we've preserved them, we've pinned them. Now we're ready to put labels on them and organize our box. So one of the resources you'll definitely want to check out, the University of Kentucky 4-H entomology page has a key to common insect orders. So this is just a document you can use to narrow down and identify your insect into those major orders or groups of insects, whether it's a butterfly and moth in Lepidoptera, or if it's a beetle over in the Coleoptera order. So this key will help you narrow it down to order. And it's referred to as a dichotomous key because if you look along each stage of our key, it gives you two choices. And if a description matches the insect you're trying to identify, it even tells you whether it's a specific order or what page number to continue through the key. So it's very user-friendly, very easy. Once you get it to order, you can also use the other resources on the 4-H entomology page to narrow it down further, maybe to family, to genus, or even species, and the common names. The other resource that was mailed out to all of our 4-H Bug Club members was the labels. Now I've printed this on white cardstock. It'll make it a little thicker, a little more rigid, it'll last longer. And you can see that this one page has both types of labels. They're enlarged at the top of the page if you look here. We have a collection label that has the county, the state, the date it was collected, as well as who collected it. So it's important when you collect your specimens to write that information on the outside of the container or the bag that you store that insect in, so that you can go back and reference it when you're making your location labels. The other label here on the right side is the common name label. The example they've given is a ladybird or a ladybug. Okay. And you can fill these out with a black ink pen if you write small, or if you're like me and you don't have really small penmanship, you can actually fill this out on your computer and type all that information in. And really that makes it look a little more professional, a little neater. It's a nice route to go as you're completing your labels. Once you have identified your insect and you filled out all your labels, you're just going to cut them out, and you can see that each label has a little black dot on them that indicate where the pin needs to be stuck. So we're going to start out with our collection label, and if you think back to the previous video, here's our pinning block. Our insect is at the top block. The second layer here, the second step, is where our collection label needs to go. And then this bottom step is where our common name label needs to go. So I'm going to grab my insect, I'm going to poke that little black dot in the center of the collection label, and I'm going to get it at the right height. Again, the collection label is going to go on the second step of the pinning block. Okay? And I'm going to position that label so that if you're looking at the insect, the head's up here, the abdomen's down here, I want to be able to read that collection label from this left side. So I'm going to spin this label around so that it's positioned parallel with the insect, and again, you can read it from the left side. We are now ready for our common name. If I was filling out this label for this specimen, this would be our caterpillar hunter. It's a type of ground beetle. So as a throwback to the previous video, you can see that I've pinned it on its elytra on the right side. This is one of those insects we don't pin down the middle. All right, I'm gonna poke that little black dot as best as I can on the common name, and the common name label is the bottom step of our pinning block. So once you get it to the right height, now we can adjust it. The common name label, we want to make it easy for our judge. A little shout out to Blake Newton, who judges our entomology collections at the state fair. So to make it easier on Blake, we're going to swing this common label out to the side so that on the left side, not only can you read the collection label, but from the left side you can clearly see that common name that you write or type sticking out. So if we take a walk and look at our senior entomology collection that was created by one of our former 4-H members, Evan Morton. You can see how he has several of his labels. Some of them have shifted in storage, but we're going to take a look at this guy right here, this mud dauber. And you can see that from the left side, you can read the collection label, and then that bottom label, the common name, is sticking out, making it very easy for the judge. Now, he chose to write in black ink, and he hand wrote all of his labels, but again, you can type them, and that makes it just a little more professional, a little bit neater, and honestly, a little easier. All right, once you are finished putting your labels on, you can put them in your insect collection. You'll want to put the order labels. As I mentioned, you know, beetles are in the order Coleoptera. Okay, we have Blattaria, our cockroaches, and so forth. So you'll want to group them all with their particular order, and then the rest is just art. You can organize them by size, you can put them in alphabetical order, and so forth. So get creative, but you want your collection to be neat. You want your insects to be identified correctly, and then try to fit them in one of these standard entomology boxes, or you might have to spread out into 2 if you run out of space. So with that, this is the third and final video of our entomology collections for 4-H. Definitely reach out to your extension offices if you have any questions, and good luck.